Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We will call the September 5th meeting of the Common Council to order. I will ask our clerk to call the roll to determine a quorum.
Alderperson Chaplesky.
Here.
Haas.
Here.
Lysick.
Here.
May.
Here.
Probst.
Here.
Reinke.
Here.
Rote.
Here.
Vitale.
Here.
Weigel.
Here.
Barzak.
Here.
10 present, unexcused.
We have a quorum. Please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led this evening by Alderman Chaplesky.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll move on to item D on our agendas, public hearings. We have two this evening. I'll ask our clerk to read public hearing number 1.
A hearing on the special use permit for Eveniment LLC, a proposed event planning business to be located at 7140 West Greenfield Avenue.
Mr. Stiebel.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In the old wedding center, ironically, we have a proposed development, probably the most attractive and interesting development the city's had the last 20 years that wasn't a bank. But Eveniment is going to be a wedding center, planning service, and facility. The 20,000 square foot building over 3 floors will house their operation, and the hours of operation will be 5 a.m. to 1 o'clock. The investment of the building alone is about $1.5 billion. Now, we don't have the entire capital stack put together yet for the financing, but I'm sure we'll be able to get something put together in the relatively near future. Parking for the area, at peak they'll have 500 guests, 200 to 250 per event more generally. 143 off-street parking spaces would be required if this wasn't in the downtown, but there are 385 parking spaces in the downtown area, plus another 161 public street parking. The building will see some major facade changes. The most interesting, obviously, is going to be the new facade. And also on the 71st Street side will be the addition of a new entrance to the feature, so they can to the building, so they can have 2 events go at the same time, that they won't have to cross-populate their event. And a lot more windows will be punched into the facility, so it's going to be a gorgeous facility. Inside is certainly dramatic, as you can see from this rendering. A new elevator we put in, sprinkler system, heating ducts, and there'll be bars at each floor to accommodate different events at the same time. The old J.C. Penney's was in that store for many years. They'll be removing that fake facade that was put on 50, 60, 70 years ago, however it was, and trying to recreate the historic look of the building as much as possible. The main floor will be the main event space, and also with balcony spaces for different events as well. But just as importantly, the basement, so to speak, will also have its own event space facility. The Plan Commission will review this recommendation tomorrow, and we've received no objection to date, but we have received a letter of support from the Downtown Business Improvement District. If you have any questions, I, or a representative of the owner, would want to answer them.
Thank you, Mr. Stiebel. Do any members of the Common Council have comments or questions on this item?
Mayor Devine,
Alderman Weigel.
I'd like to state, as a resident of the downtown and a business owner in the downtown, and obviously the alderperson who represents the area, that this project has my wholehearted support. Every business owner that I've spoken to in the downtown area is 100% in favor of this. We see this as a catalytic development for the area. I know the bid supports it. I'm sure all the council members have seen the letter of support on that. And we're all very excited to see this Eveniment project come here. They hosted an open house a couple of weeks ago, and it was really interesting to see the energy and to see the vision that they have for this property that may become problematic, but we're all very hopeful and excited to see this happen. So this has my wholehearted support. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions from the council? Seeing none, are there any members of the audience that have comments or questions on this item?
Hi there, I'm Janelle Meyer-Brown. I'm the owner of Eveniment Planning. We're located now in Wauwatosa in a small space there that we run our events and design amazing events all over Milwaukee. And I just want to say I'm excited for the opportunity to move to West Allis and be part of a community that's a lot of good, exciting things happening here. So, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the audience that have comments or questions on public hearing number 1?
Good evening. My name is Citlali Mendieta, representing the West Allis West Milwaukee Chamber of Commerce.
Wait till citizen participation.
Oh,
We're still on the public hearing right now.
got it.
No worries.
I was just going to support this.
Oh, you are? I'm sorry.
Yes,
I
I
thought
am
you were
here
on
to
your other
support.
issue. Go ahead. Carry on.
We're representing the chamber, and we are in full support of Eventment moving to the city of West Allis.
Thank you. Sorry. Does anybody else want to make me look foolish and wish to address the council with comments or questions on this item for public hearing? Okay. Seeing none, we will close public hearing number 1, and we will move to public hearing number 2. I will ask the clerk to read that.
A hearing on the special use permit amendment for Elite Environmental Corporation, an existing business proposing to amend the terms of its special use as an industrial wastewater treatment facility within an existing building located at 356 through 360 South Curtis Road.
Mr. Siebel.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You may all recognize this site, a solid waste disposal facility where they collect sewage or oils, and et cetera, around the metro area, and then come in here to process it and put it into the storm sewer or the sanitary sewer system. As previously, we talked about revoking their special use for non-compliance, and fortunately, a new owner has now acquired the property, Elite Environmental, who we've had dealings with before, have run a very clean operation. But even so, we're still requiring, in consultation with the City Attorney's Office, the Building Department, and the Health Department, a maximum flow rate of 70 gallons a minute, MSD discharge permit, and then should we find some additional or future complaints, that will require an annual inspection by a third party approved by the Health Commissioner. And also require all cleaning up of any of their trucks be done inside, and no truck shall encroach on the city right away. Hours of operation are 6 to 8 Monday through Friday, and 6 to 2 on Saturday. The facility has ample parking. 28 parking spaces will be required, and 39 are provided on the site. The exterior landscape will be beefed up. An additional landscaped area will be put in here at the direction of the mayor. They'll be putting in plastic palm trees and artificial Christmas trees. And did I get that right? Did I say deciduous trees as required by the city forester? Excuse me. The Plan Commission has reviewed this recommendation, has recommended approval, and we have no objections to date. If you have additional questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Thank you, Mr. Siebel. Are there any comments or questions from the council on public hearing number 2?
Mayor Devine.
Alderman May.
John, you'll recall the Elite had occupied about half this building for this to the north, and another company had occupied it on the southern half. And there were problems coming out of that building in terms of odors with employees at We Energies being sick. And so my question to you is, what's being done to contain the odors and getting proper ventilation in there? And also, what sort of fixes are being done to the building? If you recall, there were many violations with our building inspectors and our
again, in consultation with the city attorney's office and the health department, in particular the building department, the biggest issue is keeping requiring the doors to be closed when they clean the trucks. That was, we found to be the biggest violator, is that the plume would come out and come across. So by requiring those doors to be closed, and if they're not, we can reopen the special use. And the same thing with any of the other violations. If we start smelling again, we can also cease operation through the revocation of special use.
And then what's the condition of the pavement out there? Is it going to be resealed? If I recall correctly, there was a spill that occurred there by the previous owner, and some of the material had spilled out into a grate out in the parking lot. met with a number of cracks along the way. You know, is this going to become a contaminated site for us to have to deal with in the future?
I'm not positive about that. Let me check into that. But that will be remedied before occupancy.
Any other comments or questions from the council?
Mayor Devine,
Alderman Barzak?
I'm going to ask that when we go to committee that this be held, I think Alderman May is in agreement with me. We'd like to have some more further discussion with us. So I'm going to ask that this item not be voted on tonight. People can still speak if they care to, but I'm going to ask the chairman if he would hold this item. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions from the members of the council?
Mayor Devine.
Alderperson Probst.
Mr. Stevel, could you please go through can you explain the difference between the current use versus the prior use? What is the big change in them asking to amend their special use? What is going to be different from before?
What are we doing in addition?
Well, before it was treatment of
The
wastewater.
products that they are taking there are the same,
So everything is the same, it's just a different owner?
except for the additional requirements that we have
Okay.
enumerated that our fellow colleagues feel will remediate the situation. And if not, that's why we're having a special use, is that we can then go through the revocation process if they don't comply.
So to Alderman May's concern, the possibility exists that those same odors could still be there?
Yes, there is
Okay.
a potential, and that's why we have an avenue to solve it.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions from the council? See none. Are there any comments or questions from the members of the audience?
Hi, I'm not familiar with this. This is the first time I'm seeing this, but I'm not familiar with where Curtis Road is, where this exactly is housed, and it's hard for me to see that and know where it's located. But the other question that I have is there any risk of any kind of hazardous waste that could come from this, that the city would be in the future responsible for cleanup based on this water treatment or whatever they're treating?
It's being discharged into an MMSD regulated system.
I don't have no idea what that is.
The Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewage District has pipes that this sewage will go right into. It's industrial waste is what it amounts to.
Okay,
They
that's
can trace
concerning.
it back if they find something that is not meeting the requirements of what they're approved to discharge in there.
How often is it inspected so that you would know in a timely manner
They
whether there
do
was any
not
kind
tell anybody when they inspect.
Is it done
It's a random,
yearly though, or biannually?
that's up to MMSD,
Okay, that might be something for the council to consider.
yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Donsky, we all know you, but can you give us your address for the record too, please?
7822 West Manitoba Street, West Allis, Wisconsin.
Thank you. Does anybody else have comments or questions on public hearing number 2?
Kevin Crosby with Elite Environmental. I don't want to take up anybody else's time if they want to come up here, but to answer your question, so you know that facility is strictly a non-hazardous wastewater facility. So it does not accept hazardous waste at all. And also, if there's discussions later, that's fine. Just tell me if this isn't the place for this, but we could go over what some of the major changes are and the cleanup efforts that were done to satisfy all the needs with the prior owner of the other facility. So I'm happy to discuss many changes and going forward the plan to keep things in line. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the audience that have comments or questions on public hearing number 2? Okay, seeing none, we will close public hearing number 2. We will move on to item E on your agendas, which is citizen participation. This is the opportunity for residents to address the council on matters of interest to them. We ask that you keep your comments to approximately 5 minutes, and we aim to keep this portion of our agendas to approximately 30 minutes. If you wish to participate, please approach the microphone, give us your name and address for the record, and sign in on the clipboard either before or after your comments. Does anybody wish to address the council under citizen participation this evening?
Robert Brown, 2160 South 86th Street. I hated to bother you to come back again, but there have been some changes in my notice for claim against the city. And because it is over 50,000, it's sort of be important that some of the aldermen hear what's happening with it. First of all, getting attorneys, they really want a lot of money to handle this because it is a civil rights and because of the circumstances. But quickly, to make it a little more simpler, I have dropped the West Allis, West Milwaukee School Board. And I'm giving Jana Martin a copy of that. I will be dropping that. We'll be dropping the school district, Marty Lexlord, the superintendent, Brian Vassars, district communication director. Their role in this whole incident of my injury was not that great. So therefore, we're sort of letting it slide. The big thing, though, that's the problem is with these attorneys I've talked to. City hasn't responded much, and because of the circumstances that we have here, the biggest thing is the police department. When the police came, how bad the report was. I'm not here to criticize all the police, just telling them what happened. I got to tell the facts as they took place. The officer didn't even know how to spell my name. He said I can't go in and take pictures of the voting area. He refused to measure the distance between where I was on the public sidewalk, which is perfectly legal. I have all kinds of affidavits, pictures, whatnot. It's 150 feet away. Second of all, the employee for the city of West Allis admitted she lied to the police. She told them I was too close to the building after I'm out there for over an hour and a half. She wanted to tell me I'm too close. I'm 50 feet beyond where and even so, what gives her the right to come out and attack me? I'm very wobbly. I got one leg that's twice as big as the other, swelling up from bad circulation. I can't stand very straight. I requested in writing now an affidavit request for to get the seeing who taught these people what they're doing there. Who taught them they can run on the public sidewalk and attack people standing there when the city's paying them to register voters to see if they're honest voters? What gives them the right to run out and attack somebody on the public sidewalk? Who do they think they are, these employees that work for the city of West Allis, i.e. the voting place? What gives them the right? Now, the person who did it, I had spoken to her and several others when I walked in. I didn't come there to protest or anything. I merely asked why there's a sign on the public property there advocating voting for the referendum. Now, I talked to the election commission, and that wasn't right what they did. But anyway, they defended it, the people working at the voting station, and the person was mad at me because my view, I was against the referendum, okay? The person in there was for it. That's what caused them to come out and attack me. The officer, to show what a bad job he did, he wrote down even, I had a hand injury. Maybe he doesn't know the difference, what's holding my head up. It's my neck. That's what I had to go to all these treatments for. For 4,000 or 5,000, I had to go to 18 times for treatments. There's a difference between your hand and your neck injury. But he wrote down, he was so interested in this sign. After they had that sign out, I did put one next to it. But that's not where the attack took place.
Mr. Brown, you have 1 minute remaining.
That's okay. He was so interested in that sign about that. How many signs did I have? Who was with me? And so forth. That really had nothing to do with the whole complaint. Matter of fact, the election commission said that's why they didn't prosecute this person. Her name is Catherine, by the way. I've named her. She did cause my neck injury, and I did sue her, so she's still in the suit no matter what. And the police have to stay in it till somebody would have the courage to come with me and explain this. I tried to talk to them. Well, we can't, we just. Apparently, it's a city worker, and apparently they can find, when the officer got there, he couldn't figure out why on earth did this lady, he didn't bother to investigate properly. Anyway, it's all up to you guys, it's in your hands. I have national known attorneys, I'd rather settle it by myself without doing this, but if I don't get a settlement,
That's time, Mr. Brown.
okay, and the next thing you'll be facing is one of these, and they're all mad at me that it ain't like 100,000 or something, because it's civil rights, they can't believe this went on. Just so you know, I'm trying to make it easy and work this out between you and me and put this to rest. So hopefully we can do it. I don't have to come back here and talk about it anymore. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to address the council under citizen participation this evening?
Good evening, my name is Citlali Mendieta. Address is 2121 South 81st Street, and I'm here representing the West Allis, West Milwaukee Chamber of Commerce as the chair of the board. Just to share with you that we have been through some transition in the last few months since the beginning of the year. The executive board and I made decisions to change leadership due to the stage that the chamber was in financially and the bad relationships at the time that we had with many different organizations around the city. We are putting together an event called Oktoberfest that will be at the West Allis Farmers Market on October 5th. And this event is being marketed throughout the entire Milwaukee metro area. I'm here tonight to request your support for the liquor license that we have applied for. I also want to let you know that we hire a new executive director. His name is Joey Ballesteri, and he is here tonight. He can give you more information about the event. Thank you very much for your time.
Hi, everyone. My name is Joey Ballesteri. I'm excited to be here tonight. The address of the Chamber of Commerce is 1205 South 70th Street. I've had an opportunity to meet many of you. I'm so looking forward to getting one-on-ones with each of you, to introduce myself and get to know each of you both personally and professionally. Tonight is the 2-month anniversary of me stepping into the role of executive director. And for the last 2 months, I've gone on what I've called a listening tour. So I've gotten to know business owners, business leaders, community leaders, people from across the city that really represent West Allis. Because what I learned in my first few months as a student studying public administration was that every decision that I make as a community leader needs to be grounded in context of the community which I serve. So with all of that said, we've been hard at work strategic planning, thinking through what's next for the Chamber of Commerce and what we can do to ensure that we are set up for success moving forward. What we discovered is a couple of things. One, people are extremely prideful of this city, and they love to be a West Allis person that lives here. And they also feel that a lot of venues, a lot of things are not fully utilized to their full potential. So what we did as a Chamber of Commerce is work hard to plan Porktoberfest, which will be held with your approval at the farmers market. So we're excited to do this. We think this is really going to be great for our Chamber of Commerce. It's going to be great moving forward as a community. It's going to be family fun, an opportunity for everyone to really come together at a venue that's not well known in the greater Milwaukee area. We're excited to advertise this for not only West Allis citizens, but people from all across the community as we work to add a pillar to our strategic plan to involve tourism. So this being really at the center of what we planned moving forward and a way to really ensure that our strategic plan is in the right direction, that we are, as a chamber, all headed in the right direction. I look forward to, like I said, getting to know each of you one-on-one in a professional setting and working with you in the years to come. But if you have any questions, feel free to send them my way.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to address the council under citizen participation this evening?
Hi, my name is Emily Einigner. I'm at 7231 West Greenfield. I'm here with the Downtown West Allis Business Improvement District just to talk about our new event next Saturday, which is Wood and Wings. It's a fundraiser for the beautification efforts in the downtown. We've got different artists that are embellishing table and chair sets made out of trees that were cut down in West Allis. We also have 5 West Allis restaurants that are each bringing 2 different flavors of chicken wings to compete on who has the best wings in West Allis. So you can buy tickets at any of those restaurants or online. We're still looking for a couple restaurants if anybody's available. So if you have any questions, I'll be out in the lobby during recess. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to address the council under citizen participation?
My name's Tracy Stefanski. I live at 1982 South 75th Street, and I'm here to address the Common Council regarding the special use permit for the CISA program at Parkway. I know that the vote is not going to happen tonight after hearing some things through the grapevine and seeing stuff put online, but I want to talk to you because time and time again, this school district and school board is continuing to run rogue and do whatever they can do to get their hands on more of our hard-earned money. We as taxpayers are getting sick and tired of it. When the state treasurer, Matt Adamczyk, starts questioning the spending habits of a school district based on what they submitted with their loan application, you know things are messed up. What kind of city services are going to be affected by this decision by the school district? Will this cause the city expenses to go up and then ultimately increase our property taxes again? To stop the bleeding, someone or some entity needs to take a stand. This is your time to take a stand. Even though the city and the school district are two different entities, they need to work together at times. How often does the school district reach out to work with the city it resides in? The city it relies on services for? The city it must abide by rules, ordinance, and policies in? I ask you these questions as something to think about for the taxpayers you represent. We continue to witness a school district and school board that thinks they can do whatever they want to, no matter what voters say. If that is the case, then maybe the school district should become a private entity that taxpayers have no say over anymore. I'm asking the city to not allow this special permit use to send a message to the school district and school board that says you need to start doing things the right way. We are not going to just rubber stamp the continued practices that have been going on since the Kurt Wachholz era and have not gotten any better under the Marty Lexman era. The practice of do things now and ask for forgiveness later needs to end.
Thank you.
My name is Gail Radomski. I live at 7822 West Manitoba Street, West Allis, Wisconsin. I just wanted to make a comment about the special use permit, the file number 2017-0573. It was my understanding from getting correspondence from some of the council members this afternoon that that is going to committee and will be in discussions as to what the fate of that will be in the future. You're not voting on that tonight, but I think it would be great to post on the website when the vote will be on that so that it's easy to find, and that maybe a schedule of the upcoming meetings. Like there's Mr. Steibel told me that there's a meeting Thursday night at Parkway, neighborhood meeting at 6:30 for people who are interested to come to that, and maybe some of the council members would be able to attend that if their schedules allow. And thank you for your responses on that. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Does anybody else in the audience wish to address the council under citizen participation?
Good evening, council members, Mr. Mayor. My name is Mike McFarland. I live at 924 South 113th Street. I'm here to support Alderman May's initiative, which I'm not sure he's presented yet, of item number 65 and item number 66. There's been at least 2 sketchy massage parlors that have opened up in the city. One of them has been busted for prostitution, I believe, and I think there's a third one, but I'm not quite sure. But the one on the 2 I know about are on 113th. One is on 113th in Greenfield. Another is on 92nd Street, directly across the street from St. Al's Church and the school. Not good, not good. So I'm just here to support Alderman May on those initiatives. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other members of the audience that wish to address the council under citizen participation? Okay, seeing none, we will close citizen participation. We will move to item F on our agendas, which will list where our standing committees will be meeting during recess. Those are listed on page 1 of your agendas. Moving on to item G, the mayor's report. I only have 2 quick things. First off, last week there was a ceremony. It is official. Our new fire chief is Mr. Mason Pooler. I want to congratulate him. And I also want to congratulate the members of the West Allis Fire Department that were promoted last Thursday, as well as those that made it through their probationary period. I also want to remind everybody that tomorrow night, the traveling food truck tour makes its 4th out of 5 stops at the West Allis Farmers Market from 4 o'clock on till about 9. They're going to have music again, 20 food trucks, sidewalk chalk, and kids fun zone, free admission. It's a family-friendly event. There will be a 5th and final event of the summer at the end of the month, but for now, the 4th one is on September 6th from 4 o'clock to 9 o'clock at our farmers market. That does conclude the mayor's report this evening. Do we have any reports from the alderpersons?
Mayor Devine,
Alderman Lysick.
I move for approval of the minutes of the Common Council regular meeting of August 1st, 2017.
Second.
There's a motion with a second by Alderperson Ranky. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We move to item J. I'm going to take out item 4 separately, and I am going to ask Jim Janovitz to join me as well as Council President Lysick up here on the dais.
Get the middle.
This is a resolution of commendation for James M. Janovitz. Whereas James M. Janovitz will retire from the office effective September 1st, 2017, after 19 years of service to the city of West Allis. And whereas during his career, Jim has served the citizens of West Allis as PC Network Specialist, Computer Network Specialist, Acting IS Manager, IT Manager, and as Director of Information Technology, Center of Excellence. And whereas prior to serving the city of West Allis, Jim served as WIDS Programmer, Architect for the Wisconsin Technical College System Foundation, and Computer Programmer and Library Analyst Programmer for Milwaukee Area Technical College. And whereas Jim has been instrumental in developing the Center for Excellence, and whereas Jim has spearheaded numerous technological and software improvements during his service to the city of West Allis, including BP Logix, Special Assessment Software, the Printer and Copier Reduction Project, camera and Wi-Fi installation, generator selection for City Hall, fiber optic installation, GPS vehicle tracking, and NovaTime software. And whereas Jim received a letter of commendation by the City of West Allis Police Department Merit Review Board in 2006, and a letter of appreciation from the City of Franklin Police Department for assistance in investigation in 2005. And whereas Jim has been a valuable volunteer supporting the West Allis Christmas Parade since 2009, and the Community Alliance Against Drugs since 2004. And whereas Jim has supported the City of West Allis staff and facilitated the city's presence at West Allis a la carte and National Night Out. And whereas Jim is deserving of special commendation for his many contributions to his profession and to making West Allis a better place to live and work. Now therefore be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of West Allis that Jim Janovitz, Director of Information Technology, be and is hereby specially commended for his dedication and service to the citizens of West Allis, and congratulates him for a job well done. Be it further resolved that the Common Council hereby extends to Jim Janovitz its best wishes for a long, prosperous, and healthy retirement, and I so move.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I just want to take a minute to thank Jim for his years of service. He has brought so much to this community. He's a very proud resident. He's a great cheerleader. He has brought forth so many amazing ideas in my years working with him. Some of them were a little crazy, but that's a good thing in this case because the reason we have Wi-Fi in a lot of our parks and playgrounds is because of this guy. He's done a lot, and he is going to be missed. And I don't want to read this entire thing, but I am going to state that I, Dan Devine, Mayor of the City of West Allis, State of Wisconsin, do hereby proclaim Tuesday, September 5th, 2017 as Jim Janovitz Day in the City of West Allis. Congratulations, Jim.
Just got to say a few words here. A lot of people to thank, but I want to start by thanking the late Chief Patorik and Deputy Chief Greg Dietrich for convincing me to take this job in the city. I also like to thank Paul Zeeler, who gave me the opportunity to come over to City Hall and apply a lot of the stuff that I know to try to make West Allis better. I also like to thank John Stiebel and Gary Schmidt, who helped me navigate a lot of the landmines that are found in any organization. And I also like to thank all the good, hardworking city employees for implementing a lot of my crazy ideas that I had. Especially Public Works, who had to climb water towers for me, install cabling, dig holes, do all the stuff that they did a lot of stuff that they normally don't do. So I do appreciate all the city employees helping me out on this. And that's all I had. Thanks, Jim. All right.
Okay, we'll go back. We're within item J. I will ask for a motion to place items 5 through 9 on file. Those are the Beautification Award winners and the municipal judges' court fines and fees. You have a motion to place that on file? So moved. Motion by Alderman Barzak, second by Alderperson Probst. I'll ask for a motion to refer items 10 through 13 to the city attorney.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
by, geez, you guys. Motion by Alderman May, second by Alderman Barzak. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item K, Standing Committee Reports, License and Health Committee.
Mayor Devine, I will report this out after the recess meetings.
Thank you, Alderman Chaplesky. We will move to item L. Do we have a motion to suspend the rules?
And Mayor Devine, I move that we suspend the rules and I move for suspension of the rules and reconsideration of item 32 in our agendas.
Second.
First on the motion to suspend the rules, we have a motion and a second by Alderman Barzak. Is there any objection to suspending the rules? Rules are suspended. And the other half
I move reconsideration.
to send back to committee, or?
Send back to committee, that is correct.
Thank you. And a
Second.
motion by Alderperson Ranky. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The item is sent back to committee. Item M,
Mayor Devine,
Alderman Lysick.
I move that we stand in recess until conclusion of the committee meetings.
Second.
There's a motion with a second by Alderman Vitale. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We are in recess.